are wanting to start up their own business. And it's obvious why. The general public is a lot more knowledgeable today. We have a wealth of information readily available at our fingertips, and it's now considered cool to be creative. I've been asked why I think it is that most startups fail and barely break even, while on the other hand, people on the other side of the fence are too intimidated to start up their own business. So what does it take to be successful in business today? Well, keep watching, because as an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, I'm going to be sharing 5 of my expert tips for business success today. You don't want to miss it. Tip number 1, focus on what you're good at. Don't try to be all things to all people. If there's a need in the market, but you're not too knowledgeable about it, best find another need that you can meet. Unless you have the funding to hire experts in the field, stick to what you're good at. Just because someone else is successful in a certain area doesn't mean that the same would be done for you. Look into their area of expertise. See how many years of experience they have in the field, and then make an accurate perspective on the scenario. Remember, monkey see, monkey do. Don't try and be like everyone else. Be yourself, be original. Focus on your skill set. Embrace what you're good at, and go with it. The flow and your understanding of the business will flourish far better this way. Remember, your clients and your customers will only put their faith in you if you portray sufficient knowledge and understanding and expertise in your product. If you're clueless, they won't take you seriously. Stick to your passion and it will flow out onto others. Stick to what you're good at. Number 2, make a plan but be flexible. By failing to plan, you plan to fail. This is such an obvious one, but you'll be surprised at the amount of people who think they can just wing it and open up a business. A good plan shows that you've considered the market, done your research, know your product, and know how to execute your ideas. Without a fairly professional and thought-through plan, you're really just diving into deep water hoping you won't sink. Don't do that. Plan, plan, plan. Plans are great because they provide good assessment to your progress, help you better define the success of your business, and give you tangible indicators of growth. There's so many great templates readily available on the internet for free. You don't need to hire this out to someone or spend money on business books. Just do a simple Google search and see what's out there. You'll be surprised at the wealth of information, useful information might I add, readily available at your fingertips. You'll even come across new aspects to think about that you perhaps never even had considered before. So absolutely, go ahead and make a thorough and relevant business plan before starting up. But remember, life is unpredictable, and so is business. Things might not so neatly fit into the plan. You might have to think a bit outside of the lines at times. But hey, as long as it's good for the business, accept it, embrace it, and go with it. If it's taking longer, but it's still steering in the right direction, that's fine. Allow the time delay, but keep the good supplier, for example, or be willing to change them if they underperform. So absolutely, make a plan, but be flexible. Number 3, don't underestimate the value of strong online presence. This one is a really big one today. Let me just ask you, do you have a phone? Oh really? Is it a smartphone? Does it have data? Then are you looking around for the closest free Wi-Fi? Everyone uses the internet. Just think about it. Even if you want to buy a pair of shoes, just say, you're probably going to check a few different stores online, see who sells the pair the cheapest, maybe try them on in a shop, and then go home and buy them online if they're cheaper. That's fine. Most frugal people are wired that way. And personally, I think it's a smart thing to do if you have the time. But the lesson here is that people will only come to you if they know that you exist. So let them know you exist. Develop a good website. Again, you don't have to pay someone lots and lots of money to make you a website. As long as you can work a computer, there's now so much online help at next to nothing. There's GoDaddy.com, SimpleSite.com, for example. So many great websites that help you create your own website fast and easy, so use them. Social media, even my 85-year-old grandma was on it. Facebook, make a page for your business. People look up shops and restaurants on Facebook before even looking at their website. No matter what the business, don't just think people will stumble across it. Get out there, get your name out there. The internet is the best way of doing this today. The greatest reach at the lowest price, so join in. Remember, strong online presence is key. Number 4, start small and grow big. Now let's just be honest, most of us are not going to be given millions of dollars to start a business. Few people have that good fortune. You're most likely to get a loan from the bank, well-meaning friends and family, you know, those silent partners who don't exactly stay silent, or dig into your savings. And just on a side there, I recommend you be your main investor. Try not to get a loan, try not to borrow or get investors involved. This way, you stay in control and can keep to realistic expectations. So just my personal word of advice there on funding. But back to starting small and growing big. So many intelligent and capable people I know have made this mistake. They think something's a good idea, don't really know much about it, have a fair amount of money to invest, and just dive into things large scale without properly researching the market, understanding that they are being far too optimistic and unrealistic. And what happens? A good grand opening, busy night, good first week maybe, and then few customers, businesses running thin. Why? Because the reality is that niche products and high-end products only appeal to few people. Most people are looking for value for money and decent products. It's clear. Look at Lidl, look at IKEA, Poundland, deals, pennies, always a rush. So be realistic. It's great to have big dreams and go large, but know that you can always start small and grow big. It's the safer option. It's the more organic and natural way to progress. I'd rather start small with my customer base than have no customer base at all. So remember, start small and grow big. It's perfectly fine. It's actually wiser in most cases. 5. The significance of word of mouth. Word of mouth, you ask? Yes, word of mouth. You know, Aunt Sally tells Aunt Betty how good the new grocery shop in town is. Aunt Betty tells John and Agnes, who tell Paul, Tom, Don, and Harry. The next day, 20 new people show up at the grocery shop. Word of mouth, the simple small talk conversation over tea that people take seriously. Despite the internet, despite the reality and importance of banner ads, billboards, etc., there's just something about our friends telling us something is good or that something is bad that makes us take it more seriously. So don't overlook the importance of it. Did you know that it's harder to recruit a new customer to replace a lost one than it is to keep that old-timer who had had a bad experience? Why? Because when someone feels they've been faithful to a retailer or an electricity supplier or whoever for 10, 20 years, and they do them dirty, or they aren't more lenient over something because of this, they feel betrayed, they feel done wrong by, and they tell their friends and they tell their family. Rightly so. People often use the expression, it's not personal, it's just business. What rubbish! People take most things personally, and an unhappy customer takes things personally. Then 10 or 15 others are lost. And I'm not exaggerating. Many business studies show that a bad experience can lose up to 10, 15 existing or potential customers along with them because of negative word of mouth. And everyone knows it's a lot harder to find new people than it is to keep old ones. I'd rather have the old-timer have a good experience and bring on 10 to 15 new customers with them. So the next time you get a customer complaining about something, don't rush them off, don't make it look like it's their fault. It's not the 1920s anymore. The customer has more power today, not the provider. So apologize, fix things for them, and let them go off and spread that lovely positive word of mouth promotion that we want. Remember, word of mouth is real and active, and you want the positive. So there you have it, 5 tips for a successful business startup. Number 1, focus on what you're good at. Number 2, make a plan but be flexible. Number 3, don't underestimate the importance of a strong online presence. Number 4, start small and grow big. And number 5, cultivate positive word of mouth amongst your clients and customers. I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And don't forget to subscribe for more great business tips from some great key players in the field, which will be coming up shortly.